You know, I've been looking forward to making this video for a long time now, and I finally get to do it. Hey guys, Mustang here, and today we are going to be taking a look at another video made by Reed Boehm. This one is called Video Game Companies vs. Modders. Now, I think it's no secret that video game companies have become extremely greedy and anti-consumer in the past several years. And how have these companies become anti-consumer and greedy? Well, they've been releasing their games extremely broken and buggy disasters, with tons of game-breaking bugs that make the games virtually unplayable. Not only that though, but they've also been releasing their games with little to no content to keep players around for longer than a month. Which companies have been doing this? Well, every single AAA company within the industry. Companies such as EA, Microsoft, Activision, PlayStation, Ubisoft, Nintendo, and others. Each one of these companies at some point has released a game extremely broken, buggy, and with little to no content. For instance, Concord on PlayStation. It released with very little content, and that content did not interest players in the slightest. Next is Redfall, which released extremely broken and buggy, being almost unplayable, and even after Arcane Austin released multiple updates and made multiple changes to the game, it wasn't enough to keep players around. One final example is EA's Battlefield 2042, which at launch was extremely broken and buggy, very glitchy, with none of the content that was promised. Even the Act Man said that this game should have been delayed, which it should have, because it clearly was not ready to be released to the public. In Reed's video, he is portraying three characters: a video game company CEO, a gamer, and a modder. Let's take a look at the video.
Hey, thanks for coming in today. We've been wanting to hear feedback from our players about our new game. The game's broken. It's what? What? What the f-
If video game companies / studios are wondering why people are saying their game is broken, that they literally have no excuse and no apology can save their ass.
Well, players are falling through the map. Vehicles explode when you touch them. And for some reason, your legs fall off if you reload.
Now, two of those actually do sound kind of familiar. Falling through the map, that's actually a pretty common bug. I encountered that a few times when I was playing Blackout on Black Ops 4. And the one with the vehicle exploding as soon as you touch it, it sounds kind of similar to Halo Combat Evolved. As the slightest tap from the Warthog in that game, you're pretty much flopping over like a possum. However, I've never heard of people's legs falling off when they reload, though I think it sounds like some kind of render issue, because that's also a pretty common bug in games nowadays. People's bodies, people's avatars are not rendering in properly. Hell, they're not even spawning in at all, and it's just like a floating gun and maybe even a pair of hands holding it. It's very strange.
And it's too bad, because the game is actually really fun when that stuff doesn't happen.
That is true. Games are a lot more fun when that stuff does not happen, because if that stuff continues to happen, it'll just make the game more and more unplayable, and my interest in it will continue to decline to the point where I'll just drop the game and go play something else, like a much older game or a more fun indie / AA title.
Well, I can assure you that our team is aware. How long until you can fix it? Definitely maybe within the next year. The next year? Oh, come on!
Next year. Yeah, no AAA video game company or studio can make an excuse as to why their game has to take a full year to completely debug, because by then, more bugs and more glitches will appear, and people will have already left their game for a more fun and more content-plentiful game.
I'll fix them all in one night. I just need a bag of Doritos and 15 energy drinks. See? This one guy in his basement can fix all those problems quick.
If that's the case, then hire him. Hire this basement dweller to help fix your game. Do it.
On a scale from cake to good lord, how thick do you want the characters to be? Excuse me, what?
Thicc?
I'll have a mod pack that makes every enemy jiggle like jello in an earthquake, and every bullet you fire be Thomas the Tank Engine by the end of the week.
All that by the end of the week? Screw it, I'm sold. Let me just go grab my laptop and start downloading all those mods.
Don't listen to him! Even with our entire company, it takes months to create new content!
And these AAA video game companies wonder why people hate them right now.
Done. I just made the graphics photorealistic, made the cars drive better, and added 75 new missions to the base game. Security!
Holy hell. Better graphics, better driving mechanics for the cars, and 75 new missions added to the base game? I'm already sold.
I made it bounce. You made what bounce? I made it bounce.
You made them bounce.
Alright. How about we fix all the bugs next month and make a weapon skin pack in the middle of the year that'll cost only 40 bones?
How about new?
I made every weapon a hungry hippo that fires beluga whales. No charge. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the modders.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the modders too, because I actually know what they're doing, unlike these big AAA video game companies nowadays. All these companies care about today is making money, and they're going about it in the completely wrong way, by pretty much scamming their consumers out of who knows how much money they spend on these games every single year. And honestly, I would love to see some of these consumers actually boycott these major AAA titles that have been releasing. Just straight up not buy the games and tell these companies that we do not want to buy these extremely broken and buggy games, and that we want complete games full of content that function at launch and continue to function through their lifespan. But because some of these customers continue to pay without thinking, I don't think we'll ever see something like that happen at all until like another major flop happens. A flop that could potentially contribute to a crash of the video game industry. Now, I was hoping to read a few comments from Reed Boehm's video of people like roasting the video game companies and talking about modders, giving their thoughts and opinions on them, but I don't exactly have that kind of time right now, so I'm only going to read just one comment. So the comment here says, video game companies, we can assure you that we will fix 3 bugs within the next year while increasing the price of the game from $60 to $80. Now this is indeed very true, because we are seeing games hiking up from the prices of $70 to $80 to even closer to $100 right now, with the excuse that it's inflation and that it's tariffs, when it's really not. The rest of the comment says, modders, we just fixed 300 bugs and game-breaking glitches, optimized the game engine, fixed the lighting engine, added 40 new side quests, and made it bounce within a week, all for the total price of $0. This is ultimately the reason why modders are trusted more than major game studios nowadays. It's because modders actually make content for the games and make the games functional, whereas the major game companies don't. They just leave their games out to dry while the modders do all the work. And this is why people will never trust these big AAA video game companies anymore. They'll make all these big promises that they'll fix their bugs, that they'll improve upon their game, but only a handful of the bugs are fixed, and the rest are never fixed or addressed ever again, until players actually start pointing them out again. And all the while, these companies will release stupid, overpriced Fortnite skins that they think will satisfy players, which they will not. Instead, players will continue to write against these companies just because the companies can't do their goddamn jobs. And the fact that people have to rely on these modders to fix these broken-ass games really speaks volumes as to how understaffed and very greedy these major AAA studios are. And that's about it on my video. I didn't exactly word any of this perfectly. I'm still struggling with my voice, but I'm hoping that as I continue doing this content, I can continue to improve my speaking abilities to you all and deliver more high quality content for you guys. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Bye guys.